Hi dear students, very good morning. Welcome to LaEx IAS Academy. So today I'll be discussing the articles of 4th September 2020. As said by Dr.Rambabu Sir, as he is travelling out of station, so me Geeta Shankar, Director of Bangalore LaEx, will be recording today's video. So the first article of discussion is Mind the Gaps in India's Healthcare Digital Push. See, this is one of the interesting article after the announcement of Prime Minister on the Independence Day that a national digital health mission will be launched. So, what is this national digital health mission? In this mission, we want to digitize the every aspect of the healthcare sector. So, this was proposed in the National Healthcare Policy of 2017. So, now we are planning to implement it. So, under this mission, so we want to issue a digital health ID card for the patients and maintain the health records on the digitized mode. We also have Digi Doctor, so where all the doctors across the India will be registered there. Along with that, they'll also have health facility register. On the later dates, e-pharmacy, telemedicine, all these facilities will be integrated with the National Digital Healthcare Mission. In this article, the author is trying to tell the government focusing excessively on digitization of healthcare of data. Are we neglecting the unaddressed issues that is most important for the people? Means giving them the primary basic care that is required instead of ensuring that basic health as a right. Are we focusing more on the digitization of healthcare data? So what are the positives of that digitization and at what cost we want to go for the digitization is the question in this article. Now, let's see some of the advantages or positives of National Digital Health Mission. As mentioned, there are some few positives in this article. So, it would help the patients to save the burden of carrying medical reports. So, with this, the doctor can examine the patients properly and they can also give error-free medications. So, this is one of the positive. Then second thing, we can also give the telemedicine support to the patients. Then the third thing, the biggest problem we face nowadays is the claiming of insurance coverage. So, with the digitization of data, we can also ensure insurance coverage. So, with this digitization, we can ensure efficient, transparent, and error-free medical healthcare facility systems to the patients. But at the same time, remember one thing here, this is not guaranteeing health as a fundamental right or health as a justiciable right. Having understood the positive, is it the first time that are we going for digitization of data? Not necessarily. You can see here some of the state governments through National Rural Health Mission, National Health Mission, and IT-enabled other schemes like Ayushman Bharat, Nixchay, all these schemes, they've already started digitization of data. Even they've covered the areas like tribal areas and other isolated areas. See, now digitization of data is already happening, but it is happening in silos, not in a seamless integrated manner. So therefore, government with this NDHM wants to go for a seamless integration of data. The integration of data would happen from these existing state governments, from the private hospitals, from the rural practitioner who has been practicing all these things. So, but what is this digitization is for? We are not able to provide the basic health services to the people. So we can see over here, like the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, Pradhana Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, so many programs have been launched, so many schemes have been launched. But without pan-India integration of these things, we are not able to utilize the benefits of it, or neither these benefits are reaching out to the people. So, and the second thing that comes into the picture is also about the state government role. Health being a state subject. So, what is the role of the state government in digitization? This is not yet clear now. Moving further, let's try to understand what are the challenges of National Digital Health Mission. So firstly, through this mission, we are not focusing on the existence, survival problems that is being faced by the individuals. Instead, we are focusing on digitization. So, firstly, health as a fundamental right or a justiciable right has to be promoted. Second thing is the cost of the implementation. So, as we are all well aware, the many state governments programs and many government hospitals have already have their own softwares for data management. So like example you can see over here, we have integrated disease surveillance program, health management information system of the government, and many private hospitals have their own robust and sophisticated software that is being used now. So now, should we scrap all of them or should we use them as a parallel? So this question is unaddressed in the strategic document given by them. Even the government is trying to tell only this software has to be upgraded for NDHM seamless integration, but many of the health specialists also suggest that the hardware systems, connectivity, and the training of the staff, everything has to be changed if it has to be done so. The cost would run thousands of crores now. So, this thousands of crores should be utilized to give the basic healthcare facility or for digitization is the question. Moving further, we have many allopathic and Indian system of medicinal practitioners who do not maintain this kind of database of the systems. This is because they have one-on-one personal relationship with the patients. So, then in such a case, how should we integrate the data that is present with the alternative medicinal systems practiced in India? The next challenge ahead of us is about the data security and the privacy of patients. As you're all well aware, with the Puttaswamy case, data and privacy is being a fundamental right to all of us. So, how do we ensure that an IT consulting firm which is making a national health stack of 8 lakh doctors, 10 lakh pharmacy and 60,000 patients, the data will be safe and confidential, even though they're promising it that without informed consent, no data will be shared. But still, this is more like an luxury for many of the vulnerable community, because as we have so many apps which will be working in the background or in the hidden mode, so we don't know whether the data will be leaked or not. So ensuring data privacy is the biggest challenge here. And along with that, we have one more thing with respect to this insurance companies. So whatever data that is being entered by the medicinal practitioners are considered to be accurate. In such a case, the insurance companies may use this data in a multiple ways to reduce their own obligations, to ensure that they pay a minimum to a claim. So this is also a possibility. And the next challenge would also be this standardization of NDHM architecture, so that we also accommodate other government schemes. Moving further, last but not the least, one of the lessons from the international understanding is this: when National Health Service of United Kingdom failed, so how are we in India addressing the technical and the implementation aspects of the National Digital Healthcare Mission? So it's something like building a superstructure without a proper foundation. So therefore, first of all, government should focus on building a strong foundation, having a reliable healthcare facility, then providing early timely care to the people, ensuring availability of beds, hygienic maintained hospital premises, then a doctors to patient ratio has to be ensured properly, and on the preventive healthcare systems, so that we can have a strong demographic dividend instead of considering data is the only cure for all our ills. Let's move on to the next article. A politics of avoidance that must be questioned. See, what is this politics of avoidance we are telling here? It's about dropping of questionnaire. In the next upcoming monsoon session, questionnaire will not be used as a tool for ensuring the executive accountable to the legislature. This is because of COVID situation. The government has cited a reason because of COVID pandemic. The questionnaire will be dropped in this session. But this goes against the cardinal principle of democracy, because we have inherited a parliamentary form of government in which executive will be held responsible to the legislature. The tools used by the legislature to ensure accountability of executives are questionnaire, adjournment motion, calling attention motion, half an hour discussion, motion of no confidence, and questions of privileges. So through these questions and through these motions, we ensure accountability, as well as we also try to obtain the official statement from the ministers with respect to the developments happening in their ministry as well as in the country. With this, we can also know the pulse of the nation, and citizens will be informed with respect to the developments by the government. Questionnaire is the most prominent tool that is used on a daily basis by every member of the house. It may be from Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, which covers every aspect of the government. It may be a domestic aspects or the foreign aspects. So every day in the parliament starts with a questionnaire. So questionnaire is of three kinds. One is a start question, that is, the question is asked orally and the answer will also be given orally. So when a question and answer is happening orally, there is a chances that supplementary questions can also be asked. Then we have unstart question, so that is something like a written question. And we also have third category, that is short notice question. So now, See, the current dropping of questionnaire is applicable only to the start questions. That is, in the upcoming session, you cannot ask a oral question or a supplementary questions followed to it. But however, we can still continue with the unstarred questions or the written questions. We are all well aware the efficiency or effectiveness of the start question is more compared to the other things because it unearths the illegality, it brings us the procedural lapses that has happened. So true test of democracy or the true test of the government is to face the crisis. It may be a social, political, economy, but while it is facing the crisis, it shall never overrule the existing cardinal principles of the Constitution. It shall never take away the basic structure of the Constitution. So this kind of a politics of avoidance, where you are trying to take away the democracy, where you are trying to take away the right to ask a question, it seems some way the things are going in a wrong direction. We shall hope that executive accountability shall not be a distant dream in the current political scenario. Next, move on to the next article, partial relief. See, this article is with respect to the telecom companies and the current crisis that they are facing, especially with respect to the adjusted gross revenue. So recently telecom companies had approached Supreme Court with respect to the payment of this AGRs to the central government. So now the court has given them a partial relief, that is, they are giving a time duration of 10 years for the telecom companies to pay this adjusted gross revenues to the government. So with this time, companies can also reconfigure their business plans. They can also plan for their operational losses that they are currently undergoing, as well as plan their resources for annual repayments to the central government with respect to the AGR dues. So now they get at least a breathing space for planning their customer-centric investments. What if this relief was not given to these telecom companies? Then in such a case, many companies would have gone for insolvency. Then millions of subscribers who would have got impacted, and mobile portability would have been a biggest challenge, and not the least, the quality of service would also have got hampered. And the biggest problem that India would face, as we know, every stream, every sector we are going for digitization. So we have the pan-India digital ecosystem plan that we are going for, and we want to have nook and corner of this country digitized. Then in such a case, suppose if we do not have a telecom companies, and if we do not support the vibrant and healthy telecom companies, do you think the distant dream of India becoming a digitized India could be realized? So keeping all these things in the mind, the government has to reconsider the AGR issue. Also, the other problems that currently the telecom industry is facing. For example, you can see some of the problems that is fraught to the telecom industries, like depressed levels of average revenue per user. It's a very competitive landscape. Low data usage packages that is being given. So capital investment ke liye, they do not have funds. And last but not the least, adoption of the new technology will come with the new cost. So all these are frothing the development of the telecom companies. So this judgment by Supreme Court is a consumer-centric, investment-driven in the telecom sector, and it can ensure at least some breathing space for the telecom companies to be viable. Let's move on to the next article. General Rawat, the Chief of Defence Staff, is pushing for the Quad. So what is he trying to suggest? So he says the Quad grouping, which consists of India, Australia, Japan and US, is a good arrangement because it will ensure the Indian Ocean region to have a freedom of navigation, operations also, so that without having any fear of domination by any particular country. So Rawat has also said about the many developments on the Chinese and the Pakistan borders. So that is not of much importance to us. But again, with respect to India-US cooperation, the agreement signed, that is Communications Compatibility and Security Agreement, will boost India's military capability in the Indian Ocean region. With this agreement, US would be sharing the trivial information to India and also will supply the high technology battlefield systems to India. So the major areas for focus for India-US relationships are aerospace, space technology, cyber and artificial intelligence. And having 74% of FDI into defense sector, India should be a preferred destination for investment in the defense manufacturing. What you have to remember here is only with respect to the Quad grouping, that is India, Australia, Japan and US, how it can ensure the freedom of navigation and also reduce the dominance of one particular country. Let's move on to the next article. Experts flag concerns on EIA notification. As we are all well aware, government has passed Environment Impact Assessment Notification of 2020. And now it is issued it for the public discourse. To this, the special rapporteurs to the United Nations, especially working under United Nations Human Rights Councils, have raised certain objections, saying that the recent amendments to the notification is against the right to safe, clean and healthy environment under the international obligation to the India. See, as we are all well aware, with the LJ Polymers gas leak, again, the question of safe and clean environment is in the news. In this context, so the government exempting many large industries and the projects from the public consultation, do you think it's amounting to violation of right to safe, clean and healthy environment under the Constitution of India as well as under the India's commitment to the International Human Rights Council? Here, one thing what you have to remember is who are the special rapporteurs. So they are the independent experts who will be working under United Nations, and they will be assigned work by United Nations Human Rights Council. So they will either work for a country or they will work on certain themes. On to the next article. Clause in secular marriage law violates right to privacy, says the plea. See here, we are discussing about a clause or in section 6 of the Special Marriage Act, which says that any person consenting adults who belong to the different religious or caste who are interested to marry, then they have to give all their personal details like name, date of birth, age, occupation, all these things which is mentioned over here has to be furnished to the marriage officer, and the marriage officer will publish it for 30 days at the marriage register's office. So anyone has objections, they can put over there. So the now question is, publication of this private details of individual, doesn't it violate the privacy of couples? So does it mean that in order to have right to marriage, right to privacy has to be foregone? So this is the question that was put up in the Supreme Court. We need to wait and watch for a judgment. All the best for your preparation. Thank you.